Hello everyone again, it's old Rusty back, this time for another ridiculous farm. So this time I've decided iron golems matter. And so, what is the best way to get iron in the game? Well, obviously that's to go capture a bunch of villagers. And what you're gonna do then is, set up your kill chamber like everybody loves doing and just murdering those poor defenseless iron golems for the sweet, sweet iron ingots. But what if you don't want to do that? What if you decide iron golems are my friends? I want other iron, but I don't want to mine. Well, you've got a couple options in the game. You could do zombies. You could, they have a 1.2% chance with a looting 3 sword of dropping an iron ingot. You could go barter with piglins for a ridiculous amount of gold to get iron nuggets that you could then craft into iron ingots. But in the game, there's another way. And today we're going to talk about that. What is probably the most dumb but absurdly hilarious way to farm iron in the game: Vexes. Vexes will drop swords, possibly with a looting 3 applied when they die. If you hit them with the sword, it seems like they have, if you kill 400, they'll drop maybe 50 swords. I'm going to give credit to the Analyzing Discord server. Go to Fame. Gore to Fame, he did a lot of testing on this and just kind of posted some results. And if you use a Trident killer, you get a quarter of those results. So in his testing, 400 Vexes killed would drop 12 iron swords that you can then smelt to eventually turn into iron. So yeah, this is one of those. If you hit him with a sword, you'll get more. But we want automation. And so we've come up with a system for automating the killing of Vexes. This utilizes a lot of mechanics here, so we're going to go over them. One is in fact 2 fully powered beacons I have going. If you look on my screen, the strength doesn't matter, but what I'm interested in is the regeneration effect and the resistance effect, because in this farm, you use the player, your player is the bait, which means they're going to hit you. I'm also using in all of this, I'm wearing netherite with protection 4 and mending. And of course, a netherite sword with looting 3. If this seems over the top, it is. It's meant to be. If you build this, good luck. So I'm in a frozen ocean biome because I'm just lazy with spawn proofing. I wanted to get drowned out of this, and the ice will actually prevent any drown from spawning here. You could build this in any ocean. The key thing is everything's got to be waterlogged, and we're going to go over why. So, here I've got a series of 16 Vexes total. I have got them each in their little bubble pockets sitting inside of minecarts. In creative, I just pop the minecarts down, put a sign, drop the sponge, that dried it out, and then I put the evoker in. If you wanted to build this and actually go farm evokers, you're either going to visit a lot of woodland mansions, or you could also run a raid farm to farm evokers. You could build this on the land if you wanted to, and then waterlog everything. We'll go into why this is important in a minute. So this is 16. Rates of this farm, I run it for 10 minutes, and on average, I'll get about 12 swords, which will give me 12 nuggets. So this right here might give me 8 or 9 iron ingots an hour. You could, of course, add more evokers. When I was bored and I did a full-blown test run, I had something like 30 evokers out here. I was getting 23 iron swords in the same amount of time. That's with using a Trident killer. Any of those results, if you're willing to sit here and hit all the Vexes with your sword, quadruple that number. So you could get 60 ingots an hour here if you are willing to just look straight up and repeatedly hit your sword. So we'll go over how this farm works. So besides the beacons on top to keep me alive while I'm AFKing, we have a conduit. Now, the conduit is central to all of this. It has to be a fully built powered conduit, so that conduit power is in full effect. Now, the night vision and water breathing are nice, but what we're really looking for here is the damage that this will cause any hostile mobs to the players within 8 blocks. My AFK spot here is 10 blocks below. Once we get this farm going, Vexes have 2 ways of attacking. They will summon evokers have 2 ways of attacking. They will summon Vexes, or they will use their Fang Bite. They're going to do Fang more often, and it will run along and hurt you if you're on any opaque block. So if I've carved out the pit here 2 blocks down, and then there's a gap, and then here I have a block of glass. So the fangs can't form on that. So this protects me completely from being damaged by the fang attack. This minecart is required because you have to sit in this. You get knocked around running this farm. We'll go over how that works too in a minute. What I have here, this is not a minecart. This is a minecart with hopper. This is to help with item collection for the occasional drop swords that will come out from this farm. You don't need a minecart for this farm. This farm, we are going to utilize the Vex's incorporeal nature against it. Because all we have here is a trapdoor Trident killer, and we don't need to get them in it. They funnel into it by themselves. And then, of course, I'm using an observer. If I was above water, I would utilize a comparator clock, but there's no redstone in the water, so we're not going for that. Simple and easy setup here. So what happens when a Vex gets affected by the conduit power? So right about here, where this hopper is the 8-block range around it. I have all the evokers lowered so they don't get touched by it. But as soon as they summon a Vex, the Vexes fly up here. They enter range of the conduit power. And then after a couple seconds, they're going to take damage. What happens when they take damage is they immediately become non-aggressive to the player. But they still finish their attack animation. So they will swoop in right where the minecart is, abort their attack, and then fly straight up. What'll then happen is the conduit will damage them again. That damage knocks them back in the direction they came from, which is down. So what happens here is the Vexes will get caught in an infinite loop until they eventually die from the conduit power. So to help speed it along, we've stuck a Trident in their way that they'll ignore, and they'll just keep going up through. If they cram together enough, some Vexes may make it above the Trident killer, then the conduit power is going to hit them again and knock them back down into it. This little setup right here treats Vexes like a wood chipper does a big old branch. It just tears through them so fast. I'm only sticking with 16 evokers here because I like the look of it. When I was doing 30, my game would freeze up from the fang attacks for a second, but it didn't matter how many Vexes were on screen. This would just tear through them at a ridiculous rate. I tested some experience gain, and I ended up going from 0 to level 30 with just 16 evokers in 6 minutes. Add more evokers, and that's going to be even faster. This is the decent XP farm. It's a terrible iron farm, and that's why we're covering it, because it's absolutely hilarious. Besides that, all I have here is a simple little collection system. It's a minecart hopper on top of a hopper that will feed this chest, feeding this blast furnace where I just tossed in a bunch of charcoal. And it'll just automatically smelt it. The only other thing I did in here besides this trapdoor Trident killer, this is facing this, I'm going with a south hinge. There's a lot of good videos on how to set these up. It's probably not relog proof, so shut it off if you decide to build this ridiculous thing. The only other thing I did was I took out 2 of the water columns in here in the middle, so what's actually in there is water pushing down, and that pushes my swords right on back down into the hopper. So this is a quick little thing. I'm going to do one more fly around here just so you can check it out, and then I'll show you it in action. This is fun with conduits and Vexes. I did not know it would do this. It's hilarious that I'm using beacons for the static effects to stay alive on all this. I've ran this on hard with full netherite protection. You won't die. If you put it on easy, you're definitely not going to die. So this is a short little video, so let's just get to it. I'm going to flip my lever on, and then we're going to take it out of creative, go into survival, and I'm going to put this on hard, but it works on anything. And again, their fangs cannot hurt me. I'll get you a good as view as I can. And just look, they're running up. Fangs can't hurt me, and they instantly die. I'll give you a, let me find summoned. I want you to see this. There we go. They take conduit damage. They just fly up. It keeps knocking them back down as the Trident killer just massacres them. They do this for a while, and you'll get a sword. At which point, I think it's 1 out of every 29 Vexes that die will drop a sword when you're utilizing a Trident killer with a Looted 3. Now, if I knock all this out, I'll get a lot more a lot quicker, but I'm lazy. But this would probably also work in Java. Now, I know Java doesn't have Trident killers. I did see a hilarious video from 5 years ago, I'll include the link, from someone who took Ilmongo's technical challenge of building an iron farm using Vexes. I have done this in Bedrock, but see, they occasionally will hit me, and it doesn't matter. The regeneration just kicks right over, and it just mulches through them. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna kick this back over into creative. Yeah, all right. Well, first off, let's see if we got anything. Nope. You gotta run it a while. So let's just shut off the Trident killer. And then we're gonna do this, because I want everybody to see. Cool, that's gone. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Of course, I need a new minecart, because that happened. If you're not in a minecart, then what'll end up happening is you're gonna get knocked around, you're gonna move out of this spot, and then this whole farm falls apart. So with all that out of the way, let's put this back in survival, back on hard, and just look straight up and just wait for him to come. Here they go, and just start chopping away. And then look at all those iron swords coming right down to me. Well, so you'd have to mess with the, you know, the water flow here a little bit in order to get those. When you kill them with the sword, you got 4 times the chances of getting it. But if I just leave them here, I'm gonna not hit. And this, so that is what we're staring at right now, is the bottom of the conduit. They will take their damage and just start cycling through. They're trapped until they die. I'll help them along. So this would work in Java. This works better in Bedrock if you actually utilize your sword instead of a Trident killer. It's a terrible way to make to get iron, but it's absolutely hilarious. I've been playing with Vexes for a little bit. How am I supposed to trap these things? I tried doing it with nether portals and splash potions. That didn't work. Well, I mean, it did, and they killed me. I tried it with honey blocks, and then I don't know why this works, but it does. I thought, conduit, what does it do? Will it even hurt them? Turns out it does. They may not be slowed down by water, but the game still counts them as in it. So, this is, if anyone wants to join this ridiculousness, I issue the challenge for the technical, or the Bedrock / Java Vex Farm challenge. Can you make something more ridiculous? Can you automate it? Can you not? You could easily throw down a bunch more evokers in here to get insane rates. And again, right there, you smelt all those down and you'll get an iron ingot. Or, sorry, an iron nugget. And then 9 of those will give you an ingot. You could probably get to 60 or even 100 an hour if you're willing to do this yourself. Well, short and sweet video. Wait for my eyes to open, move back and forth. This is what we do in videos. Yes, yes. Old Rusty out. Have a good day.